How's it going, party people? Skydubs here, back again with another legit game review. Today we'll be looking at Skylanders Giants, the second game in Skylanders franchise that some people consider the best game and some don't like it very much. Toys for Bob and Activision saw how much money Spyro's Adventure made, so exactly a year after Spyro's Adventure, on 17th October of 2012, Skylanders Giants was published. The story this time continues immediately after Chaos was sent to Earth. He somehow unfreezes himself, but then something weird happens. He finds Skylanders figures and they talk to each other, which is pretty weird. The last time the story was excellent. They explained how due to the core of light exploding, Skylanders were sent to Earth. But this time they're just there talking to Chaos. Okay. There's also a different story of how Giants were the first Skylanders and how they were sent to Earth because they fought an army of giant Archean robots. Now this is kinda stupid in my opinion. Like, I know Giants are the heroes and all of that, but look how fucking small they are compared to an entire Archean army. It's like humans losing a battle to fucking ants. Eventually they kill some kind of an Archean king, his fist falls off and then Chaos looks for that fist. But also, the Giants are teleported to Earth because of that fist. Which in my opinion doesn't make sense at all. But okay, I'll let it slide, who cares. Also, this fist reminds me of that Thanos' glove. But enough about the story. Let's talk about something that I really like from Skylanders as a franchise in general. The Skylanders from previous games don't lose their progress at all. For example, if you leveled up a Skylander or if you upgraded, it all stays the same in every game. The new gimmicks are the Giants, however, and in my opinion they're really fucking cool. First of all, their designs are excellent. There is one from each element. They light up when you put them on the portal. And it's pretty smart from Activision. I see what they did here, I mean.
What would you rather buy? This toy or this toy?
However, I can't help but feel like Giants are the weakest addition to Skylanders. Even cores are stronger than them. They're not the worst by designs or gimmicks, but they're just the weakest ones in my opinion. Like, they're slow and they are big targets, you know, the worst combination for the nightmare mode. I know they have big health bars, but it really doesn't matter when you die in 3 hits. Then again, there are some good ones, but most of them aren't that great, let's be real here. Most of them are either mediocre or below average. And why would you place them when there are so many other great cores or trapmasters or swappers? Like, I just don't think they're that strong. I think this is my unpopular opinion from Skylanders, but I'm just not that big of a fan of Giants. However, that doesn't mean that they don't add anything to the gameplay. They have a lot of unique mechanics, like for example the barrels where you get the money from, or the smaller enemies, when they walk up to them they instantly die. They have the biggest health bars in the game, and they can also lift some rocks and throw them around, and sometimes you can even find a secret area or break a house or two. They also have Feat of Strength, which is just a button mashing minigame, which can lead you to a treasure chest, or you can skip a part of a level if you don't want to play Sky Stones. Which leads me to Sky Stones. Now, I don't know how to explain them, to be honest. You have 9 stones, and on one side, if you have more spikes than the other stone, you win that stone, and whoever has more stones at the end wins. There are some elemental things, but they don't matter at the end. You can get these from beating NPCs or getting them from Oryx's shop. And if you buy a lot of good ones, you'll eventually become an unbeatable god at it. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely addicted to Sky Stones. In case you couldn't tell by me getting all of the 80 Sky Stones. There are 8 new cores and they are upgraded the same way as the original 32 Skylanders. The cores are very mixed, to be honest. You have some of the strongest characters like Flashwing or Hot Dog. You have some of the most memorable characters like Pop Fizz or Shroom Boom. You have some of the worst cores ever, like Jetvac and Sprocket. I'll never understand why Jetvac was so popular. I mean, he was literally everywhere. You had him in the fucking TV show and you had a costume of him, which gives me nightmares. And there are also some forgettable cores like Chill or Fright Rider. That's why I say it's pretty mixed, but you know what? We got Pop Fizz from it, so I'm satisfied. Also, again, the music, while not as good as Skylanders Pirates Adventure music, is still really good, and it's one of my favorite soundtracks ever. The elemental gates make a return this game. They can be accessed by old cores, the new cores, and also the giants. They are the same as from Spyro's Adventure, nothing changes. Another thing that returns are those multi-elemental puzzles from the hub areas that when you go through them, you get a lot of treasure. Now, when I asked you what rating would you give to this game, it was pretty positive. There are 2 10s, there is a 6 or 7, there is a 7 and there is a 9.6. However, I know that a lot of people aren't fan of this game because they say it doesn't change too much from Spyro's Adventure. And I agree, this was obviously a rush game once Toys for Bob and Activision saw how successful Spyro's Adventure was. However, this time it is a much more polished experience. I said that Spyro's Adventure had a lot of variety in levels, but there were still some repeating factors because there were obviously 8 elemental areas. However, you get a ton of new locations here, and the levels are really fun and enjoyable, even though there are still those mindless puzzles that haven't been removed, and the fact that you still can't jump for some reason. But even with the returning flaws from Spyro's Adventure, I would still dare to say that these are the best levels in all Skylanders games. The gameplay is as fun as the Spyro's Adventure gameplay. Levels are the perfect length. They are longer than Spyro's Adventure, however there are 6 less levels than from Spyro's Adventure, and the adventure packs are reused, but as I said, it makes up with length and the overall quality of the levels. You raid Chaos's castle, you fight a giant drilling machine that sings, and my personal favorite, the Villikin village full of creepy dolls that are dead and alive at the same time in 2 different worlds. Similar to Darklight Crypt but better. And the bosses are so much better than just fighting evil Skylanders. There is the Chompy Mage, a singing drill. Brock is kinda forgettable, but he's a cool NPC, so I'll leave it. And the final boss battle is so much better. While it isn't anything spectacular, it gets the job done. Also, another thing that is more polished is the hub area. It's a small flint ship, but it's the most iconic one. You can find legendary treasures in levels and then customize it with those legendary treasures and even unlock some new secret areas. I also really like that the ship changes based on the area where you are. If it's a snow area, it will snow, and there is even a special level where they attack your ship, or sometimes your ship gets attacked so you need to land. Persephone is back, meaning more upgrades. Giants are upgraded just like normal Skylanders, but Series 2s, since there are no new soul gems, they just have wow pows instead of soul gems, which are okay. And even though the ship is smaller than the ruins, it actually offers more content. Also, I like how every single room has its purpose, rather than just scattering things across the ruins. For example, you have Persephone's room, where you obviously upgrade. You have the room where you customize the ship with the legendary treasures that you found. There's Cali's room, where you use the Locotrones that you found, and they can give you additional health, wealth, power, or elemental power. There's also a room for the turret minigame, which I personally don't like. And then there's the game room, where there are Auric and Dreadbeard. Now Auric finally has a use. In the first game he was just standing there, and at the end of the game he just gives you money, but this time he actually has his own shop and you can find him on every level from the second level. And you can also play some Sky Stones with Dreadbeard. There is also more post-game content once you beat Chaos. The adventure packs are the same, Cali's challenges are back and they're as boring as ever, but my favorites are Brock's arena challenges. Now, they are really fun in my opinion, and they're really cool and they have cool challenges, they're not just fighting enemies all the time. But my favorite feature ever added after the first game is the Nightmare mode. You unlock it by beating the game on easy, normal or hard mode, and once you beat it you can start a new game and play on the Nightmare mode. It's really cool that you can actually choose difficulty in this game, because for players that are as good as me, they can play on the Nightmare mode and they can have a good challenge. All of the NPCs from the last game are back, except from Hugo. He's left to guard the ruins, and he's instead replaced with this hermit guy who's even worse than Hugo. Hugo's personality was that he hates sheep, and Hermit's personality is that he hates clouds.
Oh, or destroy all the clouds!
Also, the new ones are Serafina, who is forgettable. I even forgot she existed before I made this video. There is also the Machine Ghost, who everybody likes, and there is Brock, who I personally like. Some people may not, but I enjoy his jokes. So, overall, for a pretty rushed game that's made in less than a year, that improves quite a lot of things from Spyro's Adventure and doesn't downgrade any of them, I think that Skylanders Giants deserves a 7 out of 10. It improves the bosses by a lot and the levels are even more fun to play. However, there is still no jumping and there are still those crystal and block puzzles, which is a shame because it has potential to be an 8 out of 10, but it just is way too similar to Spyro's Adventure to get 2 ratings higher. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the second and the last review of the first Skylander month on this channel, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.